a thief and a stealer of souls.
Which I have not done in 5,000 years.
And before I'm done with you, your Millennium Puzzle will be mine.
Technically that comes after you're done dueling the Pharaoh, since the Millennium Puzzle doesn't go into your possession until you win.
The Cyber Commander, Tristan's favorite.
What do you bet the only reason this card was Tristan's favorite is so it won't be awkward to animate him in the form of the Cyber Commander, the one card that conveniently looks like him.
What's going on here? Ah!
Tristan freaks out when he sees the Pharaoh behind him, despite the fact that he should have seen Bakura first, considering he was literally facing Bakura's direction.
The White Magical Hat.
The name of the card is White Magical Hat, which makes one assume that his power comes from his White Magical Hat. But when he's in action, his hat does anything except be magical. Or be white, since that's clearly a silver hat.
Huh? No!
Tristan finds a tombstone that has his name on it, but considering he is in the form of the Cyber Commander, shouldn't that name be on the tombstone? Also, Tristan finds the tombstone with his name on it after wandering around the graveyard for a while. Wouldn't he logically happen upon his tombstone immediately since he's a duel monster?
I'd avoid using the cards that have my friend's soul.
Wait, whoa, hold up, stop, wait a second. Isn't Yugi's soul trapped inside the Dark Magician card? How was his soul spared when the Pharaoh took over his body? According to the rules of the Shadow Realm, Yugi's body was an empty vessel due to his soul being snatched, so how is he here dueling alongside the Pharaoh? Just like Tristan earlier, Joey doesn't immediately notice giant Bakura sitting right in front of him upon being summoned to the field, or the fact that he's holding a big flaming sword in his hand.
Ah! Giant Bakura!
I guess Joey only notices giant Bakura when we, the audience, do. Must be that dumb rule of anime again.
So here goes nothing. Ah!
Technically, this should be an illegal move because Joey attacks White Magical Hat without the Pharaoh ever declaring him to attack.
Huh? Why'd he play that face down?
For probably the same reason you've ever played monsters in face down defense mode. I know it's a shocker that anybody else plays the game except you, but that's how it works when monsters have effects.
Hang on, Joey, it could be a trap. I'm going in. Wait!
Since Joey is a duel monster, shouldn't he be bound with the rules of the game, which includes not having the ability to attack whenever he so pleases?
Ta-da! What a dolt.
The spirit of Thief King Bakura would be great at CinemaSins 2 expansion. See what I mean about before? If Yugi's soul was somehow still attached to his body by means of the Pharaoh, shouldn't the real Dark Magician appear in his place? None of this is making any sense here, so I'm gonna throw in 5 sins. Even the Shadow Realm has its own set of rules that must be followed. Also, I get that Yugi is the shortest of his friends, but considering he has taken the form of the Dark Magician, shouldn't he also be the tallest monster on the field? Tristan, as the Cyber Commander, appears on the Reborn the Monster card instead of his own as a result of the Pharaoh taking it from the graveyard and replacing it on the field.
But just 1 second ago, I was up there.
Does this mean if Yugi gets sacrificed or destroyed, the Dark Magician goes to the graveyard, but he returns to his body somehow? What even is going on here?
If you're down here, who's that up there?
Some may have different thoughts, but this was one of the most bone-chilling moments in the first season of the show. The moment Yugi realizes there actually is an ancient spirit attached to him and he is face to face with them for the first time ever. I still get chills from that realization.
Who's that up there? I don't know. Don't you?
Well, it's not like you ever spoke with Yugi directly throughout your short time with him. As of now, you've only ever possessed his body to duel for him instead of speaking to him, so it doesn't shock me that Yugi has no idea who you are.
Oh yeah, I was just played, so I have to move.
Once again, no, because the Pharaoh did not declare an attack of any kind. And even then, what rule states that the monster that's been played must be the one to attack? Also, even if that rule was true, technically this means Tristan should attack because he was played literally after Yugi was. This duel was by far one of the worst in the entire series because nothing makes sense anymore.
The Magician of Faith!
Isn't that Teia's favorite?
If I were the Pharaoh, I would have not announced out loud that I drew the Magician of Faith, which contains Teia's soul. I'd do anything to ensure Bakura has no idea what I got in my hand. Shadow Realm or not, what idiot willingly tells his opponent what card he drew?
Just Desserts takes 500 points from each of your monsters.
If that is the case, Bakura had the chance to win the duel and blew it early. The Pharaoh lost 1,500 of his 2,000 life points as a result of the Just Desserts trap card. So if Bakura had just waited until Teia was placed on the field in the next turn, he literally could have won the duel. The Pharaoh plays the Magician of Faith in face-down defense mode, which means that Teia shouldn't materialize until she's flipped into face-up defense mode. But considering I just made a whole deal out of Yugi somehow possessing his body being trapped in the Dark Magician card at the same time, I'm giving up on anything making sense anymore.
And the puny one down here.
Being angry apparently requires falling on your face.
I'll show you who's puny around here.
Yugi chooses to attack Bakura's face-down card because of Joey calling him puny. If only a certain someone could order him not to do that because he's the one in control here. I wonder who.
Dark magic attack!
Oh, I get it. Yugi just wanted to use the Force because he remembered the Dark Magician used to do that in the first few episodes instead of using the staff.
You can't attack the electric lizard without some rather shocking feedback.
So, that's it? Yugi doesn't get destroyed or lose attack points? He just gets randomly electrocuted and that's it? Well, that doesn't sound like a cool effect for a monster at all.
A trap card.
Stop calling your cards out loud for Bakura to hear.
Don't bother, you fools. I can see her perfectly well.
Yet somehow they couldn't see you at all when they first appeared on the field despite looking directly at you.
Easy prey for my man-eater bug.
What is it with everyone declaring their next card they intend to play face down on the field? Isn't the whole point of face down cards to keep your opponent second guessing strategies?
Man-eater bug? Glad I'm a girl.
Wah wah.
But I'm afraid to use it. The card requires that we sacrifice.
Hold up a second! I could try and accept that Yugi somehow regained control of his body with the Pharaoh when the Dark Magician was not even played, but now that he's on the field, gone from his body entirely, he somehow knows the exact card the Pharaoh played. Their minds and souls have been split from each other completely here. 20 cents for making my head explode in confusion.
You mean one of us?
I mean, it's not like the Pharaoh couldn't play a fifth monster and sacrifice that one without having to worry about one of the gang getting sacrificed.
Taking it out too.
No! Bad, Tristan! Only established duelists are allowed to make a heroic move in the face of danger. Back to the cheering squad you go!
Obliterating him from the field once and for all.
So, in other words, all this move did was activate the effect of the Man-Eater bug without altering anything. Joey would have destroyed it, which would have caused himself to be sacrificed as a result. Here the Pharaoh plays the Horn of Heaven trap card to destroy the Man-Eater bug, which also causes Joey to be sacrificed as a result. You see where I'm getting at? Unless Bakura somehow played the Reaper of Cards to give some randomly selected effect of banishing the Flame Swordsman from the entire game, I don't see how this is supposed to hurt Joey in any way. He can still be reborn again with Reborn the Monster if the Pharaoh gets it again.
Taya's tear activated her favorite card.
And somehow made her the Dark Magician too. Also, considering the Pharaoh never flipped her, with Taya doing that on her own, how does a tear activate the Magician of Fate's effect? How does... never mind, it can't get any worse than this. Can it?
No, I refuse. You won't have a choice.
Considering Yugi did pretty much everything by his own control, I think it's safe to say he has a choice even with the Change of Heart card being put on him. Plot convenience.
I've taken over one of his cards instead of yours.
First off, it's bullshit that Bakura can just willingly take over the Thief King's monster instead of Yugi, so that's already 100 more sins added. But also, since nothing makes sense here, can't Bakura just turn around and attack the Thief King with Lady of Faith? If he can willingly disobey the Thief King, surely he can also attack him too, right?
The power of my Millennium Puzzle can put them back.
The Pharaoh could have just done that the whole time? If that is the case, why didn't he just... You know what? I can't do this anymore. I am literally losing my own mind in the Shadow Realm. This reach click your heels and say there's no place like home levels of plot convenience. I quit.